Okay, I'm going to read from page 20 of Second Chance. It's a couple of paragraphs long, so bear with me. And maybe it's something we can discuss in the weekly webinar. Okay, so Richard says to Jonathan, how can you say that a traumatic experience from the past is illusionary when in fact it actually happened? Jonathan says, I'm afraid you've missed my point. What I am saying is that the traumatic experience was real then, but now it is only an illusion from the past, carried through time via thought. This is where most theories fail, he continued. We blame parents, friends, events, and our memories of them, instead of seeing that we are responsible for our own negative thought patterns. Most theories help convince the person that the mind is passive and incapable of freeing itself from the past. Have you any idea how many people suffer needlessly because of this theory? Have you any idea how many people are convinced that little hope exists for them in this reality? Wow. There's a lot to say about that. When people see this fact, wow, it releases them from traumas of their past. And yes, we would never say something that was experienced didn't happen. Of course it happened then. And, you know, there are, I've worked with people who had very traumatic things happen to them. I mean, I can't even go into it. Some of the stories were so awful. And there are three principal practitioners working with veterans, a group of veterans. I have a veteran from time to time, but I've not worked with a group. And even a veteran who's been through seeing the most awful, horrific sights has put that where it belongs in the past. It's not something you can do. It's something you have to really see. It's something that you have to understand at a much deeper level, where an understanding of how the mind works moment to moment. Thoughts come and they go. No matter how you judge the thought, positive, negative, it's going to leave the scene. It's not going to stick around unless you hold on to it and work with it. As long as a person thinks that they have to figure it out, they have to get to the bottom of it. Or even, you know, in my own field of therapy, there had been this belief that people had to work through, they had to even re-experience it in order to get rid of it. I mean, that doesn't even make common sense, but yet there was this belief. That's why it's so important in your life to really see the difference between something you believe in, something you take on as a truth, and something you see at a deeper level, something that you really understand at a much deeper level, where you can see how the mind works, how the human mind works. It's in the moment that people have a thought, they experience that thought, and whenever that thinking changes, which will happen really quickly, by the way. Thoughts change really quickly when you're not working on them. You're not making something out of it, when you're not chasing it, chasing after it, jumping on it. You know, how do you describe that thing that happens to people when they feel gripped by a thought, by an experience? They feel so gripped that they get this idea they've got to keep thinking it. And it's a little like quicksand, I think, is a really good metaphor for this feeling of just getting sucked in when you think, when you believe that it's something you have to work through. That's an illusion. And if you can see past that illusion, you're free. That's the freedom that everybody's looking for, except they are going about it in ways that keep them tethered and tied. So I hope that was helpful. And thanks for watching.